Picture a man whose voice alone could hush a crowded saloon, whose weathered face tells stories of wide-open plains and endless struggles. This is the tale of a Hollywood legend, a rugged soul who rose from heartbreak to become an icon of the American West. His life wasn't handed to him on a silver screen. It was carved from loss, grit, and a quiet determination that burned brighter than any spotlight. But behind the cowboy hat and steady gaze lies a story few know, one of tragedy, love, and a relentless fight to defy the odds. Want to know how this man turned pain into a legacy that still inspires millions? Stick with me, because this journey is one you won't forget. Born in the heart of California in the 1940s, he grew up with the spirit of the frontier in his blood. His mother, a fiery Texan, was a champion diver who traded the pool for a whistle, coaching young athletes with a passion that left a mark. His father, a man of the land, worked to protect the balance of nature, tracking predators and teaching his son the ways of the wild. Together, they shaped a boy who learned early that strength comes from within, not from applause. By his teens, the family had traded sunny California for the misty hills of Portland, Oregon. High school wasn't about chasing popularity, it was about finding himself. College came next, but classrooms couldn't hold his restless heart. It was a local theater production, a burst of stage lights and roaring crowds that lit a spark. A small-town newspaper saw it too, urging him to chase acting. That moment planted a seed, one that would grow into a towering career. His father, though, wasn't sold. A practical man, he saw Hollywood as a long shot, a dream for fools. "You've got no chance in that world," he told his son, words that stung but didn't break him. They shared a bond forged in fishing trips and long talks under the stars. But their visions clashed, dreamer versus realist, young versus old. Still, love held them together. Then tragedy struck like a bolt from a clear sky. At just 17, he lost his father to a sudden heart attack. The man who'd been his rock was gone, collapsing in the arms of his wife in their Portland home. The grief was raw, a wound that never fully healed. Years later, he'd call it a bummer, but the pain ran deeper, shaping his resolve. His father died doubting his path, and that doubt became fuel. He vowed to prove him wrong, not out of spite, but out of love. What happens when a young man, grieving and driven, steps into the wilds of Hollywood? Stay tuned, because the road ahead is full of twists. The 1960s were a turbulent time, and the pull of duty tugged hard. The Vietnam War loomed, and he felt the urge to serve. But a heart-to-heart with his mother and a family friend steered him to a safer path, the National Guard. It was a choice that spared him the battlefield, but left him wrestling with guilt for those who weren't so lucky. That sense of duty never left him, later shaping the soldiers and heroes he'd bring to life on screen. With his service behind him, he set his sights on Los Angeles, a city as unforgiving as a desert sun. Hollywood back then was a tight-knit world, fewer studios, fewer chances. He took odd jobs, hammering nails on construction sites, scraping by while honing his craft in acting workshops. Luck, as it often does, came disguised as chance. A neighbor's connection led him to a casting director who saw something in his raw, unpolished presence. That meeting opened a door, landing him a talent agent and a shot at the big leagues. His early days were humble bit parts in TV westerns, a fleeting role as a card player in a legendary outlaw film. No lines, no glory, but he was in the room. Then came a moment that changed everything. On the set of a gothic thriller, he met the woman who'd become his lifelong partner. Their love story, born in the shadow of Hollywood's chaos, would anchor him through decades of triumphs and trials. They married in the 80s, building a life that stood strong against the industry's storms. If this story's hitting you, please share. It's a reminder that even legends start from nothing. The 70s and 80s were a slow climb. He became the face you knew but couldn't name, popping up in TV shows, commercials, and gritty westerns. His breakout came as a lifeguard in a quiet indie film, playing a man torn between duty and dreams. It wasn't a blockbuster, but it showed the world his depth. He took on roles that mirrored his own complexity: soldiers, outlaws, even a killer in a chilling TV drama. He worked alongside rising stars, his rugged charm stealing scenes. But Hollywood wasn't kind. He spoke out against shady practices, refusing to play the casting couch game. It probably cost me, he admitted, but his integrity stayed intact. That stand, decades later, made him a voice for those fighting for fairness in the industry. The 90s brought a shift. A string of westerns, epic tales of generals and low men finally put his name in lights. He played a gruff mentor in a cult classic about a slacker, his voice weaving philosophy into a quirky tale of bowling and betrayal. The film flopped at first, but time turned it into a masterpiece, with his role as the mysterious narrator becoming iconic. Directors couldn't get enough of him, some admitting they kept rolling just to watch him work. His presence was magnetic, his voice like gravel and whiskey. But could he keep rising, or would Hollywood's fickle nature pull him back down? Keep listening, because the best is yet to come. The 2000s saw him stretch further. He played a grizzled general in a superhero flick, a dying cowboy in a sharp satire, even a talking cow in a kids' movie. His voice became America's soundtrack, selling trucks, beer, even fire safety as the voice of a beloved bear. He shared a birthday with that mascot, a strange twist of fate that felt personal after wildfires touched his life. On screen, he jumped from war epics to fantasy, sharing scenes with A-listers while never losing his grounded edge. Then came the 2010s, when the world finally caught up. A role as an aging Western star, written just for him, earned raves. But it was his turn as a troubled brother in a music drama that shook the industry. At over 70, he landed his first Oscar nod, proof that true talent never fades. His personal life was just as epic. He and his wife, a Hollywood star in her own right, built a love that lasted decades. They raised a daughter, a musician chasing her own dreams. Though their family faced shadows a legal clash that tested their bond, yet they endured their seaside ranch, a haven from fame's glare. Properties in Oregon tied them to their roots, a mix of luxury and humility. In 2022, controversy struck when he criticized a film's take on the West, sparking a backlash. He apologized, owning his misstep, proving even legends stumble but rise again. His latest role, a weathered pioneer in a gritty drama, earned him another award, cementing his place as a titan. This is the story of a man who turned loss into legend, who faced doubt and kept going. His voice, his heart, his grit there woven into the fabric of Hollywood. If this moved you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a spark of inspiration. Let's keep telling stories of those who defy the odds, because that's what makes us human.